The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. Since the Passover of the Jews was near, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. He found in the temple area those who sold oxen, sheep, and doves, as well as the money changers seated there. He made a whip out of cords and drove them all out of the temple area with the sheep and oxen, and spilled the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. And to those who sold doves, he said, "Take these out of here and stop making my Father's house a marketplace." His disciples recalled the words of Scripture, "Zeal for your house will consume me." At this, the Jews answered and said to him, "What sign can you show us for doing this?" Jesus answered and said to them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." The Jews said, "This temple has been under construction for 46 years, and you will raise it up in 3 days?" But he was speaking about the temple of his body. Therefore, when he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this, and they came to believe the Scripture and the word Jesus had spoken. The Gospel of the Lord. Yeah, first of all, I'm fine, okay? I'm fine. I took all the tests. It's not COVID, it's not strep, it's getting old, and not sleeping enough. So, what can you do? Don't be distracted, okay? I'll try to give a few words. It's exactly the right gospel for this feast. Of course it is. Because, we move from this kind of temple-oriented idea of the coming together of heaven and earth to see that Jesus is absolutely central in the coming together of heaven and earth. Right? It's now no longer the temple where God and man are united, where heaven and earth most decisively overlap. It's in Jesus Christ. And so Jesus becomes for us the locus of worship, the place where we worship the true and living God. Yeah, and he becomes the source of all mission, the mission to restore all of creation. It's Jesus. This is what the temple was supposed to be, right? This living encounter with God, and we find that now decisively, not in the temple, but in Jesus. And of course, we celebrate the feast of the dedication of the Lateran Basilica in Rome, because the Lateran Basilica is the cathedral basilica of Rome. It's the mother church, actually the mother. We think it's St. Peter's and what, but it's the Lateran Basilica. And at the Lateran Basilica, there's I would say elegant baptistry. And so if the Lateran Basilica is the mother church of the universal church, then so too we say the baptistry is like the mother baptistry of all baptismal fonts and all the rest. So what matters there is that it is our baptism that has us participate in the life of Christ. So we see Jesus is the true, the walking temple, right? It's a true and living temple. And it's ours to participate in the plan of God, again, to live out and bring to bear his kingdom of holiness and justice by our baptism into Jesus' death and resurrection. That's what we get here in the passage, right? It's Jesus' death and resurrection is what then constitutes his people. But we have to die with him and rise with him. Even now, the pattern of our life has to be take on the pattern of primal worship in that sense. We have to follow Jesus, but following Jesus, we follow a crucified Messiah. So we have to be about what he's about, and of course with his own life of love animating us by virtue of our being baptized into his death and resurrection, we can live totally for him. But living totally for him, we're ready to give all in his service, because again, we follow a crucified Messiah. So our death and resurrection, likewise, in our day-to-day, our dying to ourselves, right? Denying ourselves, taking up our cross, following him. This then will become the worship of our lives, the worship that's worthy of the true and living God.